Hey everyone, this is Marcin Lewandowski and you're watching the TurnedVC Show Season 2. Today we are in stunning Paris and we're just about to learn more about the French tech ecosystem together with Etienne Boutan from Incubation. There's a lot of cool stuff on the show for you to check out, including some surprising appearances of amazing guests. Let's play some basketball with Etienne and check it out. So, what's your story? Tell us, like, how did you? I know that you have been a basketball player, right? But yeah, maybe let's hear it from you. I'm not gonna reveal anything to people.
No, sure. I grew up, in the south of France. My first love was basketball, so I played basketball for about maybe 10 years. I started when I was 8. Went to play for, youth team, and I ended up playing professional. Actually, I played a couple of years in Spain. I played in Barcelona and in Gran Canaria. And then for me, I was, dreaming of going to the US and to the NBA. I realized I was not good enough to go there. So I decided to do something else. So I used basketball to go back to school. I actually ended up in California. I studied in San Francisco and LA. And then I started transitioning. And when I was in California, it was the year 2013, 14, and so it was kind of like the golden years in tech because you had, the iPhone in 2008, and then just a wave of innovation. When I was in campus, it was the beginnings of Instagram, Snapchat, Tinder going mainstream. Right. I really got caught into this entrepreneurship / tech thing, and yeah, it felt the closest thing I knew from basketball. Entrepreneurship was, fast-paced, very competitive. You could dream of doing something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
So this is how I got into it. And so I ended up actually going back to Europe first. I spent a few years in Monaco. I worked in finance as a VC and then as an investment manager. Yeah. And then I started my first company, and it went. All started from there.
Yeah, amazing, man. I know that you. But going a bit back, even more back than from your basketball career, I know that you're originally from France, but from south of France. Maybe you can tell us a bit about that, and I'll take a shot before you do it.
Okay, sure.
Oh, come on!
Almost there.
That was so close.
Yeah, so I'm from a little city called Biarritz. It's known for people who surf. On the seaside, it's really beautiful. I was very privileged to grow up there. And yeah, it's the kind of small town where, if you're a kid like me, like you have big dreams, you feel like a misfit sometimes.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, I couldn't wait to go to a bigger city like Paris, LA, SF, places I had the chance to experience. And but yeah, very quiet town, super beautiful. Hopefully you get to see it one day.
I love that. I know that you surfed there as well, right? It's a surf town.
Yeah, this is a national sport. So you start when you're 5 years old. For the time I spent, I'm pretty bad at it. Like I'm pretty tall, so I sink the board, and I'm not very good with sports requiring sliding and balance. But yeah, I would say I'm average in surfing. Yeah.
Amazing. Take a shot.
Okay, my turn. There you go.
Oh shit!
You're gonna have to make that now. So let's start doing trick shots for you.
Okay.
We'll start doing layups. Holding your hand like this.
Oh, okay. That should be easy. That looked easy.
That looked easy. It's harder than it looks.
So I have to hold my hand here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes! Come on! What is your biggest learning from building your company? What would you wish you knew when you were just starting?
I think I saw that interview of Jensen from NVIDIA the other day where he was saying, if I knew it was going to be that hard, I probably don't think I would have started, or I would not even do it over again. And I think this is very true for a lot of entrepreneurs. You have to be sort of naive to think it's like what you're doing is actually possible. and you learn along the way. The first company is so hard, you just suck at everything, you feel overwhelmed. And the biggest learning for me is just, take it day by day, step by, so a small step in front of the other, and in the end you look backwards and the journey is pretty long and pretty impressive. So yeah, my biggest learning is you just gotta get started and take it, day by day.
What's one thing about tech French ecosystem that makes it, special and that no one knows about?
There's something we often laugh about with my business partner Hugo. In France, we're really good at criticizing, which is actually a quality, I think, when you're trying to build something that's really excellent. And we're just awesome in product. And I think that shows with companies like LVMH and luxury retail. And yeah, I think if you do the crossover with the great engineering that we have here, we have great schools. Obviously, we have like a wave of engineers tackling AI topics right now with companies like Mistral. I think if you do that crossover together, we're really excited about like what you can build in terms of like consumer products. And yeah, I think this is going to be a thing for France the next few years. That's going to be very special.
All right, amazing. And guys, speaking of the French tech ecosystem, we are just heading to Station F later today.
Exactly.
To grab some lunch, and you'll see the biggest startup hub in Europe. Man, this is beautiful. Etienne, so maybe you can tell us a bit more about your daily routine. Like, how's your day looking like?
Yeah, I usually get early morning start. I try to exercise as soon as I wake up. I will go running, go to the gym. When I was a founder, I think I made the mistake of putting my health and myself on the side because I was just so overwhelmed. And with time, I was like, okay, let's put sports at the center of my life again. And yeah, it makes me perform better, makes me feel healthier and better. So yeah, it was good to share that moment with you over there.
I mean, how important is the mental health and well-being for like when you are a founder to take care of this? Because I know that it's not like the work-life balance is probably not what founders, especially early-stage founders, are the best at.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I think you're so driven by your mission and what you are trying to accomplish that everything else goes out the window. But no, I think nowadays. It's a lot more of a discussion when it comes to work-life balance. I don't think I have a lot of it. I try to bring some structure, but you still have to put the work in, put crazy hours in. A lot of people criticize, the hardcore working culture of guys like Elon Musk and stuff like that. But this is kind of like what it takes if you want to build something great. So I think you should have your own life, you have your family, you exercise, whatever. But bottom is. You need to put the hours in.
Yeah. If you wanna have a job, you gotta do the work, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's keep walking.
Sure.
Man. Like this is amazing. Hey guys, we are continuing the beautiful walk through inspiring Paris. You don't get many better views than this, right, Etienne?
Yeah, I mean, you have to see the Eiffel Tower at least once,
True. Speaking of inspirational views, Etienne, what's your biggest inspiration? What keeps you going?
Yeah, I mean, I told you when we were playing basketball when I was a kid, I was a big fan of Michael Jordan, and I was always inspired by other people. But I think as I grew, it kind of changed. It recentered on myself. When you're a founder and building things, you need to detach yourself of what people are thinking of you. And right now, what's really inspiring to me are the things I'm working on. Usually, I try to work on things that are bigger than myself. And yeah, we had the chat. Where we were discussing about this, where you were saying I'm chasing myself in like 5-10 years, and it's funny because I saw a speech of, I think it was Matthew McConaughey who was saying that on like the Oscar. But yeah, I'll say I'm chasing the best version of myself, and who I think that person is. This is my inspiration today.
All right. Let's keep going. Sure. Let's keep living, guys. Hey everyone, we are back and we are at Station F, enjoying La Felicita together with Karren, the founder of Waive, and again with Etienne. Etienne and Karren, how did you guys meet? Like, what's happening? What's going on? Like, why are we here together?
Well, we got introduced to another founder. Karren was raising money for a startup at the time, and she was kind enough to let me in. So I'm a very small angel in Karren's company, but she's a star. She can tell you more about what she's doing.
Karren, what's Waive all about? Tell us all about it.
So basically, the problem I wanted to target is that most French people do not invest their money because they're really risk averse. So they fear that they will lose their money or block their money. So the idea is to build the first risk-free investment platform to allow French people to invest in risk-free assets. So they're sure they will get their money back and they know exactly what will happen. They know the yield in advance and the money is like locked for a very short-term period.
All right. And what made you invest in Karren? What's the special thing about Waive or Karren or both?
Yeah, I think we discussed this, but at Intuition, and I was doing the same when I was an angel. Three very important things we look at very early. Can the founder be exceptional? And I thought, Karren could be that. How bad is the founder obsessed with the problem he or she's trying to solve?
Yeah.
And I was regularly chatting with Karren. She will answer emails at like 2 a.m. in the morning. And lastly, how big can this become?
That shows the obsession, right?
Exactly.
And that's what we're looking for.
I'm a really obsessed person.
And lastly, how big can this become? And obviously, she's targeting to solve that problem for millions of French people and hopefully one day millions of Europeans and people around the world. So yeah, it ticked all the boxes, and I've been a super happy investor so far.
Amazing. Karren, I asked you what made you choose Karren, but Karren, like, what made you choose Intuition as an investor, or not?
That's a good question.
Etienne.
The first time I met Etienne, it was on a video call, I do remember. I thought I was very afraid of him because he was very serious. He asked me so many questions. Like
nice.
He was really
due diligence.
Yeah, he was doing a very big due diligence, and actually like some big investors who provided bigger tickets and so on. It was more like sometimes a 10 minutes, 20 minutes conversation, and they said, okay, I feel you're the right person to tackle this issue. This is a big issue. Let's go and so on. And Etienne, he asked me like the BP, the deck, the prototype, everything, and we did like so many calls. And I was like, oh my God, this guy is really doing the work, and it was great. But I didn't think he was like a nice person, And then I met him. I was a bit afraid of him, and then I met with him. And I was like, oh, he's so nice and so cool. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, to piggyback on that.
I thought he was a good investor, and he is.
And
but
that
it's
is
also
the good investor profile matches the nice person
yeah,
profile,
exactly.
and then and there's a match. Yeah. Nice, awesome. And so you said that you were for some time like accelerated at Station F.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we are kind of a Station F. Tell us maybe more about it. Like what Station F means for the French tech ecosystem.
French tech. Yeah, I think this is a very big symbol here because this is the first French accelerator and incubator, and this is, as you can maybe see, huge and very beautiful and very unusual in the architecture and so on.
Yeah.
And it was built and financed by Xavier Niel, who is the biggest investor in France and very well-known investor. When I was selected to be part of the Founders Program 2024, I was very pleased to join and very happy. We met with amazing founders at Station F, and I think most of French tech companies came at Station F at some point, or even though it was for a few months.
All right, Etienne.
No, I mean, I think she said it all. I've never been through the program, but when I was a founder.
But when you first came, you were.
When I first came, I remember I came from Monaco actually, came to Paris, wanted to have my startup, and this was the place you will come to. And it was founded in 2017.
Yeah.
I think I arrived in Paris in 2018, 2019. And yeah, you know, coming from the outside, that was a place to go. A lot of Parisians acted like, you know, Station F was maybe the place for wannabe entrepreneurs, but I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to build a company, and so yeah, the ecosystem will gather here. And now you have companies like Hugging Face, like Photo Room that came out of this, and I think they're doing an amazing job.
Thank you so much, Karren, for joining us here. And yeah, let's check it out a bit more, and let's move to the next location.
Thank you very much.
We are now at Louvre. I was just wondering, what's your favorite thing about Paris, Etienne?
Well, my favorite thing about Paris is all this, you know, like beautiful monuments. Paris is one of those cities where, you know, it's old, it's ancient, and you take this for granted sometimes when you live here, but you know, you come at night, you see the Louvre, it's something you can't really describe, so you have to see it.
Yeah, you gotta see Paris. You gotta, like, every time you come to Paris, it's like every time going to Louvre, you can discover something else or interpret things in different way.
Exactly, during the day, at night, it's always different.
Like, yeah, right?
True.
And it's same like Paris. Like Louvre is like Paris city. Like you come to Paris, every time you can see something else, feel something else, like discover something else, have another perspective. I love this place, and I can't wait to see what's next. What do you got next for us?
Let's see, let's go.
So we are now at Mara, which is an amazing place, and it's a favorite place of Etienne and Axel. So how did you guys meet, and like what's your involvement, Axel, in Intuition?
So we were playing together when we were 15 in the youth team of Portes, which was one of the best team in France, and we developed a friendship. We were also in the same class, so we played together. We're in the same class at school. We become best friend for 10 plus years, and then we started to do business together and launched Intuition a couple months ago.
Amazing. And Axel, can you tell us a bit more about your background? Like, what have you been up to?
Yeah, so I'm a basketball player. I've been playing for 10 plus years now. Had a chance to play in all over Europe, some of the best team in Europe, in the NBA, in France as well, national team. So I'm pretty lucky. And off the court, I've been investing with Etienne for a couple of years now. I'm a venture partner in Intuition, and also I have empowerment program for young kids through entrepreneurships and sports.
Amazing.
So that's what I do.
What is this program about?
Empowerment through entrepreneurship and sports. I basically take a group of young girls in Paris. I introduce them to all the coolest, smartest people I know, and throughout all those like little work session, they all develop a project that they come and pitch at the end of the year.
That is amazing. I love it. I have a young girl. My daughter is 4 years old, probably too young for your program yet.
Yeah, but I keep her on the list.
Keep her on the list. Once she grows up a bit, I'm gonna totally enroll her. Given your background in basketball, as a basketball player, what kind of special set of skills you bring to the table for founders you're invested in?
So I had a chance to, play at the highest level. I had to, work my way up to that because when I was, when we were playing together back then, it was not easy for me. I was not, the next Mbappe. So I think, when it comes to evaluate someone drive, work ethic, I think I can relate and I can have a pretty solid judgment on that. And when you meet all those founders that starting their company and they trying to change the world, I think I'm a good judge of character for that.
Amazing, makes perfect sense. Guys, what do you do to market Intuition? How do you compete with other venture funds out there? I know that you've done this tour of Intuition recently. I don't know if I should call it tour of Intuition, sounds weird. But yeah, the tour. What was the purpose of the tour? Like, why did you do it?
Yes. So I think like any business, whether you're a fund or you're a startup, when you get started, you want to kind of get your head above the water and scream that you exist as loud as you can. And I think this was part of the strategy for us. And at the same time, it was just, once again, as a business getting started, we wanted to make the most out of the resources we had. Yeah. And so we thought, how can we, first of all, create a brand that will be unique, bringing all the people that we love together, whether it is co-investors or founders. So that was one. Two, generate content that could spread across so people get to know that we exist. And lastly, and most importantly, how do we get to see amazing founders and in different locations, and especially in locations that we think are key for the next generational companies. And so that's why we launched the tour. So we called it the Consumer and Culture Tour. We went to London, Berlin, Stockholm, New York, San Francisco, and LA, where we created amazing founders building in culture, alongside some of the best investors in the world that we've been fortunate enough to work with over the past few years. And that's something that we are looking forward to do every year. In order to get the best founders out there and hear what they have to say.
Guys, like we are talking about all the cool stuff about startups, how it is, like how amazing it is to build a great company and change people's lives and like invest in it. But obviously, like this also comes with a fair amount of hard time. Like what was, also a question to both of you, what was your biggest fuck up?
I think I don't know my biggest fuck up, but I was a troublemaker when I was in middle school. I was actually getting kicked out every year. I felt like I had too much energy, and I think my parents were starting to get worried. But at the end of the day, I think when you're young, you have to experience who you are and what you're meant to be in this world. And I never ticked the boxes, and I think I used that at my advantage when I became an entrepreneur a little bit later. So yeah, that was my biggest fuck up. So as not being a great student in middle school, but it served me down the line, I'd say.
Which is not fuck up at all.
It's not fuck up at all.
And for me, I wouldn't say biggest fuck up, but biggest challenge was to balance, the off the court venture with the basketball, and how when you go to practice, you're not thinking about the call you just had, and when you're on a call, you're not thinking about the game you have to play the next day. So that was my biggest challenge.
And how did you do that? How did you overcome?
Honestly, just times and repetition. I mean, like everything else, at some point you're not going to be good at that. Like you're going to struggle, but if you're resilient and you keep doing, like you're gonna find your way.
Nice. That's so optimistic. So nice. That's a good message for the audience, guys. And like, so what was the big vision? Like, where do you see yourself or intuition in like 5 to 10 years from now? What do you want to do, guys?
As big as it can get. It doesn't definitely mean in size. I think it means in terms of impact. Obviously, today we're doing early stage. Intuition is going at the very beginning. Can it become something bigger and investing at a larger stage? Maybe. Can it become something bigger, staying at the earlier stage? Maybe as well. I think it's still yet to define, but today we're just trying to be excellent at what we do and just be the best in the world at or trying to be the best in the world and investing at the early stage in culture.
Amazing. Axel, what's next for you?
What's next for me? Keep getting better. I still have a long way to go to get to an Etienne level and be able to, pick the right deal fully on my own. Getting there, but I'm not there yet. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Guys, it's been such a pleasure to be here with you. And generally, like we've done so many cool things today in Paris with Etienne. Thank you so much, guys, that you made it till the end.